Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for the Johns Hopkins School of Education Special Education Virtual Webinar. My name is Tanya McMillan, and I'm an admissions coordinator here at the Johns Hopkins School of Education. I also have my colleague from the Office of Admissions, and she will introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sion John, Assistant Director of Admissions here at the Johns Hopkins School of Education. Welcome, everyone.
Also presenting today, we have a faculty member from the Special Education Department, Dr. Alexandra Shelton. We also have a representative from Montgomery County Public Schools, Brittany Mackle, joining us today as well. Please note that today's webinar is being recorded. We will share the recorded video with you within 1 week. There will also be a Q&A session at the end of the presentation today. Please type your questions in the Q&A box and we will answer your questions at the end of the presentation. I'd like to begin by sharing the agenda for today's virtual webinar. We will start the presentation sharing an overview of the Johns Hopkins School of Education. Then Dr. Shelton will go over the details of the special education programs at the School of Education. Afterwards, we will cover admissions requirements, go over financial aid and scholarship. Brittany Mackle from Montgomery County Public Schools will cover tuition reimbursement. And again, we'll leave the floor open for questions at the end. So to begin, here's some quick facts about the Johns Hopkins School of Education. We are one of 9 schools at Johns Hopkins University. We began offering college courses for teachers in 1909, and then became our own school in 2007. We are proud to share that the Johns Hopkins School of Education is consistently ranked one of the top schools in education by the U.S. News and World Report. You will also see some fast facts about our school as well. For school enrollment, we have approximately 1,741 students and over 25 graduate programs, which include doctoral, master's, and graduate certificate programs. We also have a strong network of over 24,000 SOE alums. Here you will see our special education faculty members, Dr. Rebecca Cruz, Dr. Tamara Martyr, and Dr. Alexandra Shelton. Presenting today, we have Dr. Shelton. Dr. Shelton joined Johns Hopkins University in 2021. Her research focuses on improving literacy outcomes for secondary students with mild disabilities, including mild intellectual disability and learning disabilities via intensive intervention and teacher professional development and coaching. Dr. Shelton was previously a high school special education teacher in Baltimore City Public Schools, where she served students with and without disabilities in English, language arts, reading, math, and science. At this time, I will hand the floor over to Dr. Shelton.
Thank you. And hi, everyone. Thank you for attending. So in the United States, most states have a critical shortage of special education teachers. And the same is the case for Maryland. And really the pandemic has exacerbated this shortage. And so there's an even greater need for well-trained special education teachers that come from a variety of backgrounds. And so for that reason, we have 3 pathways in the field of special education. This way, students can customize their master's degree to meet their professional goals, and so that we as a program are helping to address the teacher shortage in special education. And so today we'll be focusing on the mild to moderate disabilities pathway. So the MMD pathway or mild to moderate disabilities pathway is designed for candidates who plan to serve students with disabilities. And the focus is on gaining expertise and applying specialized techniques within a wide range of educational settings. Our program is approved by the Maryland State Department of Education for initial certification in generic special education. And so this certification has 2 tracks, either elementary middle, which is grades 1 through 8, or secondary adult, which is grades 6 through 12. That being said, there is an opportunity for folks to earn their degree in special education with us without seeking certification, but most of our candidates do seek certification. So here we have a sample of courses, but our program consists of 13 courses when you're seeking certification. Most of these courses are taken by all candidates, but there are some classes that are track specific. For example, in bold here, you see spoken and written language. This is a course specifically for students on the elementary middle track, whereas on the next slide, you should see career assessment and programming, which is for students on the secondary adult track specifically. Additionally, our program plan includes 2 classroom or behavior management courses and 2 internships. So we really give students the opportunity to learn relevant content knowledge in their courses and then apply that knowledge in their internships. We offer classes in the summer, fall, and spring, and most of our in-person classes occur, well, really all of our in-person classes occur in the evening at a centrally located campus, and that's the Johns Hopkins University Applied Physics Lab, which is in Laurel, Maryland. We also have some classes online, and most candidates take 2 to 3 years to complete the program. In terms of our classes online, we have pretty much or almost an even split between online classes and in-person classes to allow for flexibility, since most of our students are also working individuals. Along with completing coursework, there are specific program requirements that students have to complete as they move through the program. So we have the Praxis 2 Assessment in Special Education for candidates who are seeking certification, as well as the Praxis 2 Assessment in Reading, which is also a certification requirement. At the midpoint of the program, students complete a comprehensive exam to really reflect the knowledge that they've gained so far. And at the end of the program, students complete an EdTPA portfolio, which is for certification. And what's optional for students who are seeking certification is a graduate project and presentation in addition to that EdTPA portfolio. So now I wanted to share a bit about the Special Education Teacher Immersion Training Program, or SETIT. This program is a partnership with Montgomery County Public Schools that's open to permanent MCPS school-based employees. We have a cohort approach, meaning our cohort members complete the program in 2 years to earn their master's in special education, and most of the classes they take together, although it's dependent on the track. The course of study is delivered in this prescribed series of courses, and in addition to certain courses being aligned with the grade track, students complete their 2 internships in an MCPS classroom that also aligns with their grade track. You also have access to your salary and benefits as an MCPS employee, as well as partial tuition support from MCPS. But one thing to keep in mind is that this is for official employees of MCPS, so that does not include substitute teachers. So the ideal SETIT candidate is someone who wants their certification in special education through a state-approved program and is willing to, or not willing, but plans to work and teach and serve students with disabilities. They are also able to commit to 2 years of intensive graduate coursework. They're able to complete course requirements or admissions requirements in addition to the requirements throughout the program. And so that means that students have to be willing to work and study hard, although there is support along the way.
Thank you, Dr. Shelton. So now we're going to continue by going over the application requirements. A 3.0 or better cumulative undergraduate grade point average. Applicants must submit a completed application, which can be found on our school's website. Please keep in mind the application fee is $80. We'll need official transcripts from all post-secondary institutions attended. We'll need all official transcripts, including institutions you may have taken courses but did not receive a degree, an essay, a current resume, 2 letters of recommendation from individuals who can speak to your work in the field of special education. And for the mild to moderate program, testing scores are required if the GPA is less than a 3.0. And please visit the Maryland Department of Education website for a listing of specific tests that are accepted. And lastly, an interview will be required. Applicants who meet admissions requirements will be asked to interview to ensure that your goals align with the program's goals before an offer of admission. And if your degree was completed outside of the U.S., please keep in mind that you will need to complete a course-by-course evaluation. Additional information can be found on our school's website. And the current tuition for this academic school year is $918 for face-to-face courses and $972 per credit for online courses, and there is a $20 per credit technology fee. In addition to the registration fee of $175 per semester, there's also an application fee of $80 when you submit your application. And for additional information on tuition and fees, please visit the SOE's website. And if you're interested in applying for financial aid, we strongly encourage you to apply for financial aid when you start your application. The School of Education offers a limited number of partial need-based institutional scholarships each year, and these awards range on average from $800 to $3,000 per semester and are applied to tuition expenses beginning in the fall semester. And please keep in mind, to apply for the SOE Endowed Scholarship, students must complete the FAFSA form. And to learn if you qualify for the Endowed Scholarship or have any questions regarding to financial aid, please visit our school's website. I will now hand the floor over to Ms. Brittany Mackle from Montgomery County Public Schools, and she'll go over the details of the tuition reimbursement. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Brittany Mackle, and like Sion just said, I'm from Montgomery County Public Schools. My role is as the instructional specialist for higher education partnerships. So part of what I do is serve as a liaison between you and, MCPS and Johns Hopkins. So I know that a question that always comes up naturally is tuition reimbursement. And as Dr. Shelton kind of referenced before, tuition reimbursement is only for those who are benefits eligible and permanent employees. So you cannot be in a substitute position. You have to be a permanent employee working 20 or more hours. Because this is a partnership, we made a special agreement with Johns Hopkins that you can go beyond those 9 credits of tuition reimbursement that is part of your contract. We provide accelerated tuition reimbursement so that you can finish the program in, a reasonable timeline. And something to just keep in mind is because we are allowing you to go beyond that 9 credits of tuition reimbursement per fiscal year, and fiscal year is from July 1st to June 30th, that you might have to take a little bit of a break before you decide to apply for tuition reimbursement again, once you are done with this program. So once you have your master's degree from Hopkins, you're a special education teacher, you might want to take a little break. Well, you kind of have to for tuition reimbursement. And then, after a year or so, you would be eligible for reimbursement again. And just keep in mind that as of right now, tuition reimbursement is not automated. So you will have to go through the traditional reimbursement process where you will have to complete the paperwork, you will have to show proof of payment and also proof of your grade. And if our reimbursement office needs any more from you, they will reach out to you and let you know. But this is not something that's automatically done. So you do want to make sure as soon as you get that grade, you go ahead and pay. So you will pay first When you get your grade, you will submit for reimbursement, and then you will get reimbursed. Feel free to visit the tuition reimbursement website. The easiest way to find it is just to go on the MCPS website, and in the search bar at the top, type tuition reimbursement, and it will tell you everything you need to know about tuition reimbursement. And just so you're aware, right now, MCPS reimburse for $405.95 per graduate credit. We base this off of the cost of one graduate credit at UMD, whatever half of that one credit is in terms of money, that's how much we are going to reimburse. So if UMD decides to charge more next year, we'll take whatever that number is. So let's just say they decide next year we're going to charge $900 per credit. Then we will take half, and our reimbursement rate will be $450 per credit. So it kind of works in our favor that UMD is expensive, because that means that we can reimburse more based off of their rate. So again, feel free to call the tuition reimbursement office. You can email tuition reimbursement, go to the website, and also feel free to reach out to me directly if you have any questions surrounding the reimbursement. And you do want to make sure, and not that this will be an issue for anyone, that you get a B or better in the class. You cannot fail a class, or else MCPS will not reimburse you.
Thank you, Ms. Mackle. All right, so at this time, we would like to open up the floor for questions. And while we're waiting for questions, Dr. Shelton, what is the application deadline date for the Senate program?
So ideally, we would have all individuals who are interested in the program apply by April 30th. The program starts with summer classes, which begin towards the end of May.
Thank you, Dr. Shelton.
So Lynn, I'm happy to answer this one for you. So basically, we reimburse $405.95 per credit. So most of your classes are going to be 3 credit classes. So if you take that number, multiply it by 3, that will tell you how much we reimburse. So you are going to pay the total cost of the course up front. Once you pass the class, you will submit for reimbursement. And then whatever our rate is at that time, as of today, it's $405.95 per credit. We will give that money back to you. So you pay up front, you submit for reimbursement, and then whatever our rate is at that time, that's what we will pay back.
And I just wanted to add on, we are working on ways for MCPS to cover some of the tuition from the beginning of a semester, as opposed to you having to pay and get reimbursed after the fact. So that's one thing that we're working on, and we are working on other funding opportunities for students, so that in addition to MCPS partial tuition support, there's some additional tuition support. And I'm happy to answer any questions about that. You can send me an email. I'll put my email address in the chat.
Thank you for mentioning that, Dr. Shelton. I wasn't sure if I was allowed to.
Let's put that out there. So one question is, can you take more than the recommended courses per semester in order to finish earlier? There are some students who do that. The students who do that don't tend to be MCPS employees, because they tend to be working full time. And so working full time and then taking classes afterwards is a lot. And students already take 2 to 3 classes a semester. So it is possible. I would just encourage you to make sure that it's feasible for you, so that you're able to maintain other responsibilities like work and personal care and things like that.
And then I would just add to that depending on how things kind of play out, there may be financial implications as well. So that's something else to be mindful of.
Thank you. And can this program, be completed fully online? If not, then how many online courses are there, Dr. Shelton?
So it's not a fully online program, but of the 13 classes, 6 or 7 are online. I think it's 6 are online. So all of our summer classes are online. The seminar that goes along with internship, those are also online, and there might be, I think there are 2 other classes that are online. The rest of the classes are in person, but they are in the evening. And some of those classes also kind of take a hybrid approach where there might be online modules some weeks and students won't have to come in to APO.
And I think you just mentioned it, Dr. Shelton, but the location of the in-person courses, is it in Baltimore, our main campus, or is it somewhere else?
So it's not our main campus. It's not at our main campus. It's at the Applied Physics Lab, which is in Laurel. And so my recommendation to anyone who's interested in SETIT and working in MCPS is to see, in terms of distance, to see where it is in relation to where you work. And the other thing that I'd add is even for the in-person classes, when students are taking 2 to 3 classes, that 2 to 3 in-person classes, that means that those classes will only take like 1 to 2 days. So even if a student is taking 3 classes, that more than likely does not mean that they are going in person 3 days a week. It's 2 days max.
And my final question is, when would students start class? Is it during the summer or the fall 2023, Dr. Shelton?
For SETIT, it's summer, so which is late May. For folks who are not interested in SETIT or don't plan to join a SETIT cohort, there is also a fall start date.
All right, so it looks like there are no more questions. On this slide, we have very important contact information. For any admissions related questions about your application, please reach out to Ms. Tanya McMillan. And then any program related questions, please reach out to Julian Taylor and also Dr. Alexander Shelton. And of course, any questions regards to them, MCPS reimbursement, Ms. Brittany Mackel. Thank you again for your interest in the Johns Hopkins School of Education. Thank you to Ms. Mackel for being here, for your time, and again, the information that you shared with us. And then thank you to Dr. Shelton for the wonderful presentation. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. Thank you.